for today. We're going to go ahead and get started with our first topic, which is Pajaro. There are some changes coming to the community of Pajaro. The FEMA presence in Pajaro is changing, and we have got Chad Bowman from FEMA here to talk to us about what that change is and what are the next steps for residents in Pajaro. Hi, Chad. Thanks for joining us.
Most definitely. Good afternoon, and thanks for having me again. And yes, you are correct. So just a little bit of an update. As far as the DRC goes, total activity as far as visitors has been 357. The current individual assistance registration number is 2,633, and that is as of close of business yesterday, July 18th. All this information is. As far as the dollar amount approved, $5,184,215.14. And I will put that information in the chat so that you folks have that information. And the presence is changing. The deadline to register is tomorrow. And so that date is fast approaching. Just because the registration date is tomorrow, we do encourage individuals to contact us as soon as possible to make sure you register. You can go to disasterassistance.gov. You can contact us at the FEMA hotline, 800-621-3362. Both of those avenues, including the FEMA app, are going to remain available even after the deadline expires. If you receive your FEMA letter and it states for any reason that you are denied, please reach out to us. Contact us at the 800 number. That way we can confirm your eligibility. Just because it says you're denied, it could simply be that we just need additional information, such as a driver's license, a utility bill, something of that sort. And once that information is received, you may then be eligible for assistance still. So we do ask, if you receive a letter of eligibility and it states you are denied, please give us a call and confirm your eligibility. And if for any reason you were denied, you do have 60 days from the date of that letter to appeal your decision. And you can do that and get more information by calling the 800 number as well. So again, I just want to reiterate, deadline is fast approaching tomorrow. And we do ask, contact us, register today or tomorrow at the latest. And if you did receive that eligibility letter and it states you are denied, please reach out to us at 800-621-3362 to confirm the eligibility and or discuss an appeal if necessary. Thank you much.
Thank you. And for people really need to be aware that, and by FEMA presence leaving Pajaro, it means you're going to break down and physically not be there. So really the phone and the online services and contact are critical.
That's correct. Yeah, even though we will not physically be there, doesn't mean that assistance is not available. Call us, visit us online, or visit the FEMA app, and we'll be able to assist you. However, you do need to register by tomorrow in order to make sure that assistance is available to you.
Thank you very much, Chad, for helping us emphasize that and letting residents know, what these changes are. We also have Marielli Carty here, who's been your FEMA partner, been your partner in the DRC these many months. Marielli, you also will be closing up physically when the DRC closes, correct?
That is correct, Maya. Good afternoon to everyone. Yes, we are going to be there until FEMA is as well. But it's very important to remember, Maya, that even though the deadline is tomorrow or we are not physically there in Pajaro, people can request disaster assistance through our secure webpage. And also calling at our customer service center at 1-800-659 2955. I will put that information on the chat as well. And our secure web, is disasterassistance.sba.gov. So I'm encouraged the people to request disaster assistance from us as soon as possible, because the deadline to request disaster assistance physical damage is tomorrow. So that is very important to remember, Maya. And of course, let's talk about SBA's numbers. So, okay, let's talk about this quickly. Okay, for a home loan application, we have received 53 so far. We have received 50 business and EIDL loan applications for SBA. And we have approved $2,638,000. And that is a very good number. Still, I encourage the people who had some damage in their property, in their business, to apply for disaster assistance. And remember that this assistance from SBA is not, you are not obligated to accept the disaster assistance from us. Just apply if you need it. And this is a very good resource to be, you know, in a good place after the disaster hit the people. Okay, so we have received also 1,483 FEMA referrals. That is a very good number as well. So we're still there. People from Pajaro, Monterey County, the whole Monterey County, please go to the DRC to request disaster assistance from us. We're still there, but the deadline is tomorrow for physical damage specifically. Okay, so Maya, I will say the same information in Spanish as well, okay?
Hey, Marielli, can I ask you, do you feel comfortable sharing the FEMA phone number as well? Because we've had a request from our Spanish stations for information in Spanish about FEMA's contact information.
Sure. Chad, could you help me put the number in the chat so I can say it in Spanish, please?
Oh, yeah, there's information, but, oh, there's the FEMA number in chat.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Chad. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Maya, I will say some of the information that Chad said in Spanish. For example, the phone number. Chad, if you allow me, please, I can say that in Spanish.
That would be fantastic.
Perfect. Okay, so first of all, I will say the contact information for FEMA, and then I will say the information in Spanish from SBA. Okay, Maya?
Thank you, and I think we'll send you a coffee gift card.
Thank you. Okay, so a FEMA number. El número de contacto para FEMA es el 1-800-621-3362. Es muy importante que recuerden que la fecha límite para solicitar en FEMA es mañana, así que es importante que se registren lo antes posible para poder beneficiarse de las asistencias de FEMA. Pueden ir hoy al centro de desastre que tenemos en Pajaro Middle School, en la escuela, o pueden también visitarnos el día de mañana, que vamos a estar disponible para poderles asistir. Habiéndoles dicho eso, vamos a hablar un poco de la SBA. Al igual que FEMA, nosotros también contamos con una fecha límite, que el día es mañana, para solicitar asistencia por daños físicos, daños a la propiedad. Así que es importante que pasen por el centro para poder solicitar asistencia. Además, recuerda que puede pasar hoy o puede pasar mañana para poder solicitar asistencia en cuanto a las propiedades individuales se refiere. Ahora, hablemos un poco de, entonces, de los números de parte de FEMA, de parte de la SBA, perdón. Hemos aprobado y hemos recibido 53 aplicaciones de hogares individuales. Hemos recibido 50 aplicaciones de negocios, tanto para daños físicos como para daños o para añadirle capital de trabajo a los negocios. Y hemos aprobado 2 millones $638,000, lo cual es un buen número, pero seguimos recibiendo solicitudes, así que es importante que nos visiten en el centro. De el centro no estar físicamente, es importante recordar que puede solicitar a través de nuestra página web segura, disasterloanassistance.sba.gov. Voy a poner la información en el chat, así que es importante que nos llamen también a nuestro número de teléfono 1-800-659-2955. Muchas gracias. Thank you, Maya. I will put the information on the chat, okay?
Thank you, and thanks very much for the hazardous duty pay you're going to be getting for this one today. Appreciate it.
Thank
Are
you,
there
Maya.
any questions for Chad or Marielli before we move on, before we let them go? Not seeing any. We do have somebody we're adding in before we go to our environmental health topic. We have Daniel Gonzales from our Department of Emergency Management. He is going to share some information about a housing fair that was held on July 15th for Pajaro residents. Daniel, how did it go?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Maya. I just want to give you guys an update as to what happened. On Saturday, we had a housing and resource fair at the Assumption, Our Lady of Assumption Church tent from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it was quite a successful event. We had over 300 attendees that registered and signed up. And we had many more that didn't go through that registration process. So we estimate that roughly around 400 plus attendees at the fair. We did have 25 agencies that were present providing resources and services. Specifically, we wanted to get housing resources out there for the communities because we understand that families in the area are still looking for housing options, long-term planning. And so we wanted to connect them with these resources. We had over 175 sign-ins for Eden Housing, who is one of the agencies that was present, that will be opening new housing in the area. So we're really excited that we were able to get residents connected to this resource. It was just a really well attended event. We got a lot of great feedback from residents in terms of what the needs are. We had donations. We had Ventures, an organization that is working with the community, providing some resources, financial assistance. We had a lot of the nonprofits that have been doing case management with us throughout the flooding, and the non-congregate shelter that were also present, helping residents navigate the fair. So it was really well attended. It was I feel really happy about the outcome because we were able to get some feedback from residents that felt that they got really good resources and information for their housing needs moving forward in the future. So really thank you also to Cal OES for helping us plan this event, all the nonprofits, the county staff that supported the logistical aspect of it. So really happy with the outcomes. Just want to share that with the team, and hopefully we get some more of these for the community.
Thank you, Daniel. I think it's also important to point out that this was really a structured event where you brought a lot of people in, but there have been resources for residents who are in non-congregate shelter program all along. And this was just one of those pushes where we're getting down to the wire, where we really need to make sure, that they have what they need before the program ends.
That is correct. So those efforts haven't stopped. A lot of the agencies that were present at the housing fair have been meeting one-on-one at the different non-congregate shelters that we have in the area, meeting with residents individually to work on their plans and their housing situation. So it was like a complement to that. And of course, we all know that even before all this happened, we had the local assistance centers, we had the community resource centers. The DRC, as we know, has also been in the area providing all these resources. So it's been a constant flow of work, and it's been a constant flow of services and resources for residents that have been there since the outset of the storm. So definitely, this was definitely a good complement to all that work.
Thank you, Daniel. Any questions for Daniel before we let him go? Seeing none, I really appreciate you dropping in kind of at the last minute to share this with us. Much appreciated, Daniel.
Thank you.
And now we're going to move on to our environmental health topic today. Warmer weather means a lot of people are going to the beach, but you may not know that environmental health has a beach website. And Marni Flagg from Environmental Health is going to tell us why that is a good thing. Hi, Marni.
Hi, Maya. Thanks for having me today. I am going to give a short presentation to explain to everybody what it is that environmental health does out at our county and public beaches, which a lot of people don't know. So let's get started with that. So Monterey County does have a beach sampling program, and it's actually comes from a law that I'll go over and explain to everybody, but we have several beaches that we sample during the months of April to November, and we take it to the Monterey County Laboratory, and they run all of our tests for us. And it started in 1997, so this has actually been happening a very long time. We revolutionized beach sampling, and participating counties all up and down the California coast sample beaches that are visited by 50,000 or more visitors, and it has a storm drain that flows all year round. So that's going to be a surprise to a lot of people when I show you some pictures and give you some education about what you want to look for when you visit Monterey County beaches. So we have 8 beaches that we sample weekly. And then in those off months from November to May, we sample them monthly. And then we have 6 beaches that we sample monthly all year round, because those beaches are visited by less than 50,000 people a year. We maintain a web page with our data that we receive back from the laboratory, and it'll let you know if those beaches are open or closed, or if there's an advisory. And we also update the website if there's a rain advisory, and if you should not have water contact for 72 hours. If there's a sewage spill, you'll find that information on our website too. And we also have a public hotline that we update regularly. So you can just give us a call if you happen to be driving by and want to make a pit stop and take a dip in the water. And these are the signs that you'll see at different entrances and exits from our beaches. There's yellow signs for an advisory, and red signs that mean just the beach is closed and don't enter. So here's a map of the beaches on the peninsula that we sample. We sample Monterey State Beach, Monterey Municipal Beach, San Carlos, which is a very popular diving beach, Lovers Point in Pacific Grove, Sunset Beach in Pacific Grove, Spanish Bay, and Stillwater Cove, and also Carmel Beach. And then as you go further on the outskirts of the peninsula, we have Zumandowski, Moss Landing, Marina State Beach, Seaside State Beach. And then we go all the way down to Pfeiffer State Beach. And this is what our website looks like. So you can have up at the top, you'll see a warning. It will state which beaches are open or closed. And then down, you can click on individual beaches to find the information for each individual beach. And that's what this looks like. So you can go into the individual weekly data that's collected, so you can find the numbers and individual explanations for what it is that we're collecting. And if you have any questions on that, there's contact information for our beach collectors and our professional leads for the program that you can give a call to, and they'll explain any numbers or any questions that you might have for that. So I brought some handy pictures, because pictures always help explain a lot of things. So these are our most popular beaches that are posted. This is Monterey Municipal Beach. And here's Lake El Estero, which is pumped into the bay. A lot of people don't realize that. And it gets pumped and it goes out through the outfall, which is discharged along the pier. People like to walk out to the beach, and you can see the pier in this picture, and lots of people like to set up shop. But what happens is you get a lot of drainage that comes down from the streets and comes out. And so we like to walk out and sample in the water along the beach. And this is a slide that shows where we put our signs. So as you can see, we put a lot of signs up. If we get a hit on this beach, you can't really miss it. So if you're wondering, will I see it? Will I see if you post something? You should. So just enter and exit the beach at the normal entrances and exits that you should use. Don't go off-roading and use those entrances and exits, and you'll be able to see the postings that we use. But where we sample is right by the outfall. And so you don't want to set up your shop right there. So you'll want to sit further away from that. Another beach that we sample that has a lot of positives is Lovers Point. So here's Lovers Point, and here's the nice beach that you would sit by. And then here's a lot of the culprit. Here is this pump station that's failed several times, releasing sewage into Lovers Point. And then there's also the pump station drain is right here into those rocks. And then we also have the Lovers Point drain here, and also a storm drain here. And from all of when the rain happens and the water flows down the roads from Lovers Point, it all is exiting in this small cove. And so when we do our water sampling, that's going to become positive. And so this is where we put all of our signs here. So you can see you won't miss those either when you're coming in on the entrances and exits on Lovers Point. But you can see why this one may get hits pretty frequently, because it's such a small cove and the water needs time to cycle in and out before the fresh water comes in and out, and those bacterial numbers get lowered for that particular area. So that's one of our beaches that sometimes comes up higher and lower. And another one that we have is Stillwater Cove in Pebble Beach. The fourth fairway here at the golf course. And you see that we have the storm drain that runs right here. So we go out and sample right there. And we post our signs at the entrance and exit. And so what you'll do is you'll see the inspector out in the water with their safety gear on, their life jacket, and their sampling pole. This is what the bottle looks like. Dropped off at the public health laboratory. And it's put into a quanta tray. And when the bacteria grows, it's counted, it turns yellow. And that's how the counts are established. It's incubated overnight. And our microbiologists and water quality technicians that we have in the laboratory count them and use an algorithm to let us know what's growing. And that's how it's determined the numbers, if they're hazardous or not. And then we get a call and go out and post those beaches. So that's the beach sampling program in a nutshell. And here's some contact information for myself. And there's always, Maya's always able to have everyone be able to get in touch with me if necessary. But we have a state grant that we are awarded every year to do this beach sampling. And all the data is public knowledge and public information. And it's something that we really are dedicated to go out Monday and Tuesday of every week to do the beach sampling, to make sure that the beaches are ready to go for the weekends. We try to make sure that the sampling is done before holiday weekends. If the beach does get a hit, a press release does go out, and that is picked up and disseminated by the local news outlets. If there's a large sewage spill, the beaches are all closed until that's been cleared. But it's a very robust program, and it's something that environmental health has been doing and we're very proud of. And so if anyone ever has any questions, feel free to give us a call. And the divers in the area use it a lot to make sure that they are able to do their dives in very safe environments in case they have open wounds or anything. So it's been very useful for that community.
Marni, I've got to ask you, what are the things that the tests pick up? When you're sampling, what are you sampling for?
So we are sampling for indicator organisms. So there's enterococcus and fecal coliforms. So basically what we're doing is looking for an increase in kind of the organisms that are already there. So when we're looking for sewage, you know, it's looking for, is there an increase in those fecal organisms that are already there? So warm-blooded animals, humans, was something put in there that is above the normal average, above what the fish and other animals have in there. So would it be something that's dangerous for humans? So those outfalls, that's why we do it near those outfalls, because who know, you know, if it's from the sewage, if it's from a pipe that burst or something that's going out there, we don't want people to go in the water. And that's why we're doing, and a lot of the way that Monterey is set up, the older systems, you know, the streets, when it rains, that's why we put out the rain advisories, and we don't want you to go to the ocean for 72 hours because the rain is picking up everything on the streets and flushing directly to the ocean. And so we don't sample right after a rain event either, because it's going to come up positive. And so we put out that advisory automatically because we just don't want, we know that it's going to come up higher because it's just picking up everything.
And so what you're showing us is really connected to those pretty signs that everybody sees by the drain saying flows to the bay. This is the other end of what people are looking at, you know, here in town. If they walk by one of those drains, you guys are on the other end down there sampling.
Yes. Yeah. And it really is. It's all connected. And I think a lot of people don't understand that these outfalls, that's it. You know, you pour something down there, it really is. It's coming right out that outfall, right into the ocean. And that's just how it is here. It's old, and that's how it's set up.
Well, thank you so much for informing us. And so could you put in chat the website link so that people can use that? And then we'll share this information with all those who participate as well, so that they have the link and some of those awesome pictures that you sent. And then a good reminder, you know, it's summer, we're at the beach, but, you know, maybe check the beach before you go.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Marni. Great presentation. I really appreciate it. Thanks everyone for joining us on the briefing for today. Our next briefing is next week. We'll see you then.